This episode of Unqualified is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving communities since 1965. On the drive to and from my parents' house in Washington State, we almost always stop at two particular McDonald's, one in Salem, Oregon, and another in Eureka, California. At the moment, we are in the parking lot of the Salem location, and I just finished a Big Mac and fries. Even though we are just passing through, I appreciate the familiarity and feeling of community. The other day, I was looking through my mother-in-law's photo album and came across a photo where she and her friends are standing in front of a McDonald's wearing their cheerleading uniforms. I usually call my mother-in-law New Mom, but her name is Marcia. Under the photo, Marcia had written a note, and I talked her into letting me read it here. San Bernardino, California. I have so many memories of this McDonald's over the years. My father took me there on what I think was opening day. What a thrill it was as a young girl to order a chocolate shake, hamburger, and French fries. Then there was the time when my cousin Hinda and I were given a tour and allowed to take dill pickles by the cupful out of a huge barrel. We must have eaten 100 pickles each. Everyone in my family knows the story of how I accidentally missed the ketchup container and dipped a fry into my milkshake. Now when I dip fries in my shake, it's on purpose. I remember when I was 12 years old, my mother and my cousin Noel Novak, Larry's brother, picked me up from dance class, and we went for dinner to celebrate Noel's graduation from high school. Years later, when I was in high school, we would go to McDonald's every Friday night after the football game. I wish you could see this photo. Marcia couldn't remember if they won the game that night, but everyone is smiling as if they did. Wherever your local McDonald's is, there's nothing better than that wonderful feeling of community. Well, maybe that feeling is tied with eating a Big Mac. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Hello?
Elizabeth?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Guess what?
Hi, Anna.
Hi, it's Sim Sarna and Anna Faris, and guess what?
What?
It's Lance Bass. Yay!
Oh my
I'm the only
God,
one that
no
cheered for
way.
Lance Bass is our
That's
guest
awesome.
tonight.
How are you today? Did we wake you?
I'm good. No, I'm still awake.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you for staying up for us. We don't know where you are.
Where are you?
I'm in New York.
Ah, New York City.
Is it still,
Yeah.
are you guys still digging out? How is it?
Oh, it's good. It's good. We were back up and running on Sunday.
Of course, because it's
Of course,
New York.
it's New York.
Now, are you
It's New
a
York,
snow
yeah.
girl? Like you like it when it snows?
I'm from Missouri originally, so I'm not used to that much snow, but I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, when it snows the first day, it's great. But then after the second day, no, just melt already. We don't
It's
need you
like
anymore. And then it
Yeah.
turns yellow
Yeah, no,
and stingy.
I agree with that.
And the shoes.
Yeah, you don't need that. Last
Yeah.
Friday, I left right before
Yeah.
the blizzard, 3 hours before the airport closed. So I got out just in time. Woohoo! But then I have to go back in 2 days.
That's
so.
that Lance Bass luck.
Yeah. That's the luck I bring.
Elizabeth, yeah, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
And I was just telling Lance that Sim, our producer, and Alicia, I never know what the kinds of questions are coming. So
Okay.
we're excited to hear. But and Sim probably wants me to shut up right at this point.
No, you keep
a little
talking,
bit.
it's
No,
fine.
you kind of had that look on your face.
I did. I saw that look.
I know
What is this
the look.
look, Sam?
He's not very good at hiding his face, so his emotions with his face.
All right, we'll get going. Elizabeth, correct me if I'm wrong. So your platonic male friend from college has a long-distance
Yes.
girlfriend. So when you
Yes.
and your platonic male friend hang out, you feel like he has romantic feelings for you, which makes you uncomfortable. Tell us a little more about
Yes.
that.
Okay, so we met my senior year of college. I just graduated in May. So we met my senior year of college, and I didn't know him before, and we met, and he was single. And we became really fast friends, almost to a point where my friends would ask me, like, oh, are you together? Like, but I never felt anything towards him. So then we graduated, and we were both moving to New York this summer. And so we met up, and he told me that he was back with his ex, which was news to me. Yeah, so
Sound a little jealous there.
I know, it did sound...
I don't know if I was jealous, but so the way it ended, well, the last week of senior year, we did kiss, and I just didn't know how I felt about it because we were graduating and I wouldn't see him for a while. So I told him, like, let's just see what happens when we move to New York. But then by the time I moved to New York, like, he was already back with his ex. But now when we hang out, people, like, think we're together.
So, Elizabeth...
Just by the way we, like, interact. I don't know.
If you were to be, like... If you were to really examine yourself and, like, your feelings, because I know that you kind of want to protect your heart, or at least I do. That's always what I do. But would you want to be his girlfriend?
I don't know if I want to be his girlfriend, but I wish we had a chance to, like, explore where it could have led.
So you just want to have sex with him?
But we didn't get that chance.
Is that right?
No.
You want to take him for a spin.
No.
To see if then you want
Elizabeth
to
isn't like that.
Yeah.
She wants a relationship.
Wait, but Elizabeth,
to snuggle in the snow with.
What?
I'm a little confused, Elizabeth, because in your note you said that when you guys hang out together, it's as if he has feelings for you and he's protective of you, and that makes you uncomfortable, and you don't want that at all. Yet it sounds like you kind of like him.
It makes her uncomfortable. She wants him.
I'm confused, I think.
Exactly.
Well, no, because I feel like sometimes when I go out to a bar, I just want to talk to other guys, like meet people, and he's like a cock block.
So wait, now, does he, like, talk shit about his girlfriend to you?
Not shit, but I know a lot about the relationship.
Okay, because I think that, here's my early conclusion. Yeah, he's crushing on you. And he has, like, but he's got, like, some deal with his long distance girlfriend. Maybe she's a skillful manipulator, and he feels like, oh, this person is a practical person for me, or whatever. Maybe she's like, you know, whatever. Maybe it's too, you know how sometimes guys will be in a relationship because it's too exhausting to break. I mean, girls do this too, because it's almost too exhausting to actually end it.
No, that's what my friends were saying. Because he works really bad hours. Like, I think it's easier for him to be with a girl who he doesn't see that much than to, like, try to find someone new.
And is the girl close to his family?
No, I don't think the family likes her, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
Well, it sounds like he wants to be
it's complicated.
Unavailable on purpose, basically, for her.
Lance, that's interesting.
Right? Because he doesn't have to really see long distance. That means you don't have to date locally.
Yeah.
Right. And he can still, like, flirt with Elizabeth and hang out with her.
Elizabeth, could you see yourself having kids with this guy? Like look at the future. Like, could you see him as...
I'm only 22.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, could you see y'all raising a kid together? Has that gone through your mind at all?
I think he's a very nice guy, and I think he would make a really good husband.
Okay, so you are a little more into this than
but
maybe.
I'm not.
I don't believe you. I don't think so. I have the opposite reaction.
I think really into... I don't know.
I think that... Okay, Elizabeth, let me ask you a question. Let's say you guys are hanging out, you're at a bar, and he makes a move. He goes in to kiss you, and he has a girlfriend. Are you going to kiss him, or are you going to just, like, kind of push back, or what are you going to do?
I mean, it depends how much I've had to drink.
Right.
Okay, I bet here's a scenario. They kiss, and then she's like, no, we shouldn't. And then they kiss again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and y'all have only kissed, right? Be honest.
Yeah.
All right. See, I know what it is.
We only kissed.
You want to see the goods. You want to see the good. You want to know what you're missing, and then you'll definitely make up your mind after you've,
No
taken
way.
it for a
Lance.
ride. Yes.
No way.
That's what she's waiting on.
No, Lance, you want to see the goods.
Well, duh. Hello, that's obvious.
No, I think that
She wants
okay.
to take him for a spin.
What do you like about him as a friend? And also please include like if you find him sexy too in general. Like
I
is
feel
he
like
really
I can talk to him really easily. Like I don't know. He buys me a lot of drinks.
he wants to get in there.
The number one quality when you're looking for a man is whether or not he's willing to buy you drinks.
I'm seeing an alcohol theme here, Elizabeth.
Exactly. No, he's really easy to talk to, and like when we met, I felt like I had known him my whole entire life.
Is he confident? Would you consider him like kind of a confident person?
Yeah, I think he's like really protective of me, which I like to a certain extent.
Yeah, but that's also annoying. It's kind of like he's like having his cake and eating it too. I mean, he's you guys. If you guys aren't
right,
sleeping together, then he's not actually. He's just sort of licking the icing off the cake, I guess, a little bit. But but that is definitely that's a little annoying. He would. Right, like to have someone who you're really close to, you love hanging out with, you're out in New York, and someone who's like, seriously, you like that guy? Like
now,
seriously?
Elizabeth,
that guy is such an asshole.
Okay, what if he was a girl? Would you? Is this a friendship that you want? Like you want someone in your life, even if it was a girl telling you these exact same things, and you would get the same thing out of that? Would it like taking a penis away have the same relationship?
That's a good question. I like that.
I kind of have, I feel like we have a relationship that I would have with a girlfriend.
Yeah. So that's, so
which is why I've thought like
girlfriend.
that it was platonic. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, and maybe you guys are both sort of taking comfort. Like New York is such an awesome city, but it can also be kind of a lonely place and an overwhelming place. And so maybe you guys are kind of taking like comfort in sort of the familiarity of what you've been through, and you guys kind of have each other, and but it's a little bit annoying that he has this girlfriend, so, you guys can't, or, I say can't with parentheses around it, like hook up fully, but at the same time, he wants you to be single. That's a little messed up. Do you guys agree?
I mean, but I have the answer here.
What?
You have to get completely shit-faced with him, and you need a bone. You're not going to have your answer until you're boned. I mean, that's just the awful
you know
truth.
what, Lance? I got to tell you, I feel a little bad for the long-distance girlfriend.
Yeah, I know.
But I think you are right.
Yeah, it's you're not going to have your answer until you've done it.
Elizabeth, are you willing to bone him for Lance so you can find out?
Yes, will you bone him for our podcast?
I'll work on it.
And when you do bone him,
am I bringing boning back? Did this just happen?
I love the word bone. But I do think that if you guys go out, you have a few drinks, and you're like, tonight I'm going to test the waters, and you're like, you say something like, what would it be like if you and I were together, or whatever, and then you're like, okay, well, will you just come back to my apartment and snuggle with me?
Yeah, don't get too deep with the guy though. Like, don't get him in his head being like, oh, our future together. Oh no, but like. In a flirty, sexy way. Like, what would it be like if you weren't with your girlfriend?
Wait a minute, guys. The guy has a girlfriend, though.
Sorry, Sim. The moral,
Moral police is here. But like we said,
they're 22.
That's a good point.
It doesn't sound very serious. Even the parents don't like it.
Do you like her? Do you like this girl that he's dating?
I've never met her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, is there a world where does she exist?
He was like, what?
Is there a world where she might not exist?
Is she catfishing him?
She's a real person.
Oh, okay.
Some of my other friends have met her, but I've never met her, and I kind of feel like he keeps it a secret. Like, he won't actively
Because he's crazy about
tell me
you.
about her.
He really wants to bone you. This is not going to be a hard chore.
Elizabeth, I think you know what to do now. I mean, we gave you our advice.
Yeah, and remember, we're
guess.
totally unqualified. We have no idea what the
we
fuck
gave you the
we're-
prescription. You just got to go, go to the pharmacy and do it.
Well, but I think that, platonic relationships between different heterosexuals, it's like, I mean, Sim and I talk about this a lot because we feel like we sort of have one of the rare ones. But even though maybe Lance, have you ever thought that maybe Sim's in love with me?
It's kind of awkward saying it for him, but I was kind
I
of thinking
came
the
here.
same thing.
What are you guys talking about?
Take your headphones off.
No, he's seen way too many gross things about me to ever feel that way. But anyway,
turns on a few guys. I'm just saying, we could be into that.
I'm recusing myself from this conversation right now.
but I do think that it is much easier for a woman to be friends, a straight woman to be friends with a straight guy and not necessarily want to hook up with them. I don't think it feels very rare that the reverse happens, right? I mean, doesn't like every romantic comedy address this?
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It does. At least up until 1997.
But so anyway, it sounds to me like he's crushing really. How often do you guys see each other? How often do you text?
He's pretty bad at communicating, but
Obviously.
I see him maybe like once a weekend. I don't know.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But in college, we hung out like every day.
Oh. See, yeah,
Senior year.
I think
Yeah.
he's probably going through a lot of complicated feelings too. I am worried though that if you bone him, like I'm worried that you are. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. My mom will be like, "What does that mean?
What's a bone-in? Like bone-in ribeye?
Like you're gonna break his arm?" But that he will have like mentally conquered something that he's wanted to for a while and then be distant and then you're going to feel hurt. That's my concern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it could be that he's...
Yeah, I give him the benefit of the doubt, though. They've known each
Yeah.
other for a long time.
I know, but I just don't want Elizabeth to feel hurt, even if
Well,
she
I
doesn't
know.
like him all that much.
But at least she'll
let's
have her
imagine
answer.
they have sex,
Yeah.
right? And then he gets kind of lazy and distant from like texting her and like withdraws a little bit for whatever reason. Maybe he's feeling guilty. Maybe he's, whatever. But then she's going to feel hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you willing to feel hurt, Elizabeth? It's good. It's good for you. It's good for the growth.
For you and
for me.
Lan.
Thank you. But no, it's good. Like, look at it this way. It's good for like the growth of. I am really suspicious, and I refuse to be friends with anybody who has not had their heart broken. I refuse.
So, but at least you'll have your question answered.
That's true.
Go through
Lance
the hurt.
is right.
Everyone heals.
That's true.
And you'll be a better person for
or
it.
the alternative is like they hook up fully.
And then they have babies, and we're at their wedding.
And he's like, I gotta tell you, I've loved you for so long. I'm gonna end it with Cherie.
Sorry, amor.
And I just want to be with you.
That's a possibility.
So yeah,
It
right,
really is, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Like,
anything can
it's
happen.
a 50-50 here. But there is also the I think it's good that you're sort of protecting your heart. And I do think that normally guys will not want to hang out with a heterosexual girl. A heterosexual guy will not want to hang out with a heterosexual girl normally unless
But here's the problem,
There's-
Anna. Here's
what?
the problem.
What?
How old is he? 22?
Yeah.
Yeah. These millennials, it is a whole different ballgame. We know nothing about.
That's true.
They're so fluid, as they say, that he's probably like, hooked up with 5 dudes 10 girls and a cat. I mean, they don't care anymore. It's like this fluid thing.
Poor cat.
So dating is like, we really shouldn't be giving advice on dating.
Well,
we're too old.
Well, that's what it's called, Unqualified.
It's bad. It's so bad because I know nothing about millennials.
Do you think that
Nothing.
he has hooked up with other girls behind his girlfriend's back?
That pause means
I
she
don't know.
knows that he has. She's just not
Well,
saying it.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Elizabeth, you're withholding. You guys have totally
Not
boned.
me. No. This was when they were first together, like before they got back together.
And now he's in New York.
Like they were together during college, and I think some things happened, and they broke up, and then this summer they got back together.
Huh. Well,
I don't know if maybe I don't know. I don't know her well enough, but
I
to say.
no offense
but
against
I don't
him.
know.
I'm not sure if I'm crazy about him. Like, if let's imagine the other nights of the week that he's not hanging out with you, he's out on the prowl. He's lonely in New York. You know, New York, it's New York. And she's across the country or wherever the hell she is. And Cherie. And so then when you guys go out, I just don't, it was a big red flag to me that when you guys go out, he, instead of like sort of encouraging you to like flirt and like sort of meet up like a kind of a guy who had your best interests in mind, instead he's like weirdly possessive without being able to deliver anything. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So I'm not quite sure what his deal is. It sounds like he needs a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about that.
All right, let's give her final advice right now.
Lance
Well, you know my advice.
Lance thinks you should sleep with him. I kind of think you should avoid him.
But you're only going to get
Okay.
your answer one way.
And I think that you may have romanticized him a little bit in your mind. Like, you hang out when you guys are drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's not actually, I mean, he might, listen to you or whatever, or like rib you and sort of tease you in a familiar way and stuff like that. But you might not really know a lot about him. It sounds like he's got a lot of secrets. I say distance.
All right. I say bone him because once you find out he's really bad at sex, you're like, done, over that.
Oh, so you think you're just going with the assumption that he's really bad?
I'm hoping he is so she can get over him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
That's
the cat?
the best thing
did the
ever.
cat think that he was a bad lover?
Well, I don't know. Let's ask the cat. Cat?
Sim.
Okay, I guess I'm the tiebreaker. Elizabeth, just go ahead and bone him.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. And write back to us. Send us an email. Let us know how it was.
Yes.
Okay, I will.
And then
I'll let you know.
Yeah, of course. We'd love to hear back from you.
But
after you
protect
bone
your
him.
heart.
And protect your heart while you bone him.
Yes.
Okay.
And don't, whatever you do, if after the boning happens, resist the urge to text him constantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he is withdrawing,
No, I feel
do
that.
not, like, if you need to text somebody, text Sim. He'll give you his number right now. And we can pretend that Sim is the dude. And he'll
Role play and everything.
Absolutely.
Elizabeth, thanks
Perfect.
for calling.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Osea. Wondering what to gift your friends and family this holiday season? Female founded over 25 years ago by a mother and daughter team, Osea's award-winning cleansers, serums, face moisturizers, and body products give you the results you want. Skin that looks and feels amazing. I recently got to try Osea's new body butter, which, like their now famous Undaria algae body oil, transforms dry skin without being greasy, has the same incredible scent, and leaves your skin soft, smooth, and healthy looking. If my experience is any indication, you can count on your partner giving you a lot of compliments. This holiday season, stock up and share your new favorite clean skincare and body care with your friends and family. Unqualified listeners get 10% off your first order with promo code ANNA at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. Gifting is always easier if you start early, so head to OSEAMalibu.com. Use code ANNA. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by State Farm, and in honor of their surprisingly great auto insurance rates, I'm going to tell you about a particularly surprising day on set. It takes me a long time to read a script. For almost every line of dialogue, I will stop to figure out why my character would say it, how it fits in the conversation, and how it's going to come out of my mouth. Between the lines, there are larger chunks of text which describe everything else happening in the scene. Maybe what a room looks like, what characters are wearing, and what they're doing. As I often underestimate how long everything in my life takes, I know I can make up some time by reading those larger chunks a little faster. I got the script for Overboard about 6 months before we started production. I read it in my warm living room, wearing comfortably warm clothes, sipping from a warm mug of tea. Somehow, it never occurred to me that when you jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean, the water is surprisingly cold. And it doesn't get any warmer on take 2. Here at Unqualified, we love State Farm because they provide coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Yeah. I think I just hung up on. She was saying something at the end.
She said, it's so
She's
much fun.
sweet. She's sweet.
Yeah, she sounded very sweet, but I'm telling you, she's hooked up on this guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, I would never confess, even to myself, when I had a crush on somebody.
Yeah. Well, we had to get it out of her. You know, it all started out with like, oh, this guy's like, I'm over it. He's crushing on me.
I think she's into this guy now that he's back together with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
People love hard to get. They do. I know.
Yeah, I know.
It's the game.
I know.
It's the game.
I feel like if this guy broke up with his girlfriend, then she wouldn't have much interest in him at all.
Well, remember, we're talking to 22-year-olds too.
Right, exactly.
Right? So the game is in full effect right now. The older we get, the less games we play. But 22, you're playing every game you can get.
Right.
And you kind of have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we go to, do you want to go to another caller?
No, let's introduce our guest here.
Oh, dear, sweet, beloved listeners, each and every one of you I love so much. Tonight, I have the great honor of having my dear friend Lance Bass on my show. We've known each other for a really long time.
Yes, we have.
And, in fact, do you remember when we met?
I was going to ask you that. What is the official first time that we hung out or like brushed each other? I'm sure it was a red carpet, so we were like, hey, how's it going? I love you.
I don't know, but
you.
I love it that Lisa Del Campo, who's also our dear friend, who's also right here. Lisa, will you say hi?
Hi.
I was talking to Lisa earlier about this, and she totally predicted that we both would not remember.
Oh, no. Oh, please. She knows me. Hello. I don't remember.
I know, but
shit.
But yeah, that's what she said, and I don't either. I'm
terrible.
Yeah.
But I know that we fell in love many years ago.
Many
years ago.
Long time ago. Mm-hmm. Do we have to clear the rights for that?
No.
No, if you do it in less than 3 seconds, you're good.
Exactly.
Okay. Should we call another person, or should we do a little bit of this, or no? Should we do another caller?
Well, this is fun, right?
It is fun.
No, but here's the
caller.
thing, though. The next call is I feel like the next call is a little heavier, though. It's a little heavier. So
heavier than that? Breaking someone's heart?
I mean, here's the thing. I just don't want the mood to just go be like this high energy.
Oh, so you think we're really going to get depressed after this call?
But here's the thing. I really
Can you give us
feel
the subject at least, so we can vote yes or no?
I feel like we're really going to help this next guy.
Okay, so should we wait? Then let's do it.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Lance Bass.
Yes.
Do most people like to call you by your first and last name? Because I really do.
It's crazy that you just said that. We had this conversation just 2 days ago on my talk show where I've always just been Lance Bass. No one can say just my first
Lance.
name.
No, it's too hard.
Yeah, you have to put
Lance
the
Bass.
Bass with it.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's, 2 syllables total.
Except when people that I was dating would use Bass in describing me or saying, "Oh yeah, Lance Bass is coming with me," then I would realize that
would they be
probably
like,
shouldn't be
Lance
with them.
Bass, the eggs are ready.
Yeah, if they call me with my last name,
Lance
I thought that
Bass,
was
will
just
you
strange.
make the bed?
Yeah, exactly.
Lance
and
Bass,
I had a lot
you
of
did not put the
those.
cap on the
Oh my God,
toothpaste
you had
again.
so
Right,
many
and
of those.
it was the first sign that they're in it for the wrong reasons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
but my friends
interesting.
always use. I mean, yeah, it's just you can't not.
Well, there's a
put Bass
great
on.
ring to it.
Yeah, because it's just short if it's just Lance, or it's on the remember the Cosby Show, which was my favorite. There was one of the kids' best friends was Lance. He's like, my Lance. I used to hate my name because of the Cosby Show.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, because it just.
Well, I will tell you, my husband Chris not only loves you so much,
Oh, I love
but
you.
he also loves bass fishing.
Yes, of course.
So-
We have something in common.
He so he will be of the Lance Bass type, but he's not in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Oh, I saw something on TV. This isn't completely unplanned, but where Chris was interviewed, and he said that the first celebrity that he met
Yes,
in LA was
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
He told me that for the first time. Yeah, I thought that was breaking news.
What was the story? Where'd you guys meet?
Lance is like, I have no
I
idea.
don't remember. No, I mean, literally, this is the same conversation because Chris came on my show not too long ago, and he was telling me the story. And I guess it was when he first moved to Los Angeles, and he was out at a bar, like we all do, and ran into me. And I was his first sighting. No, I don't remember this at all, and I don't know the bar at all. But I guess I was nice, thank God. Because he doesn't have a bad story.
You're always nice.
It's
No,
like that
you're
asshole
always
Lance.
nice.
Yeah. But I
No,
don't remember what it
you
was.
are you and Alice and Janney are the most popular people in Hollywood.
I love
You know
Miss Alice and
everybody,
Janney.
and B,
We've gotten around.
everyone
We have definitely gotten around.
loves you guys. Like truly though, like
Well, she's
the
my
most
honorary.
solid
She's my honorary Mississippi girl, though. Like that's I love my Mississippi people, and I have a good Mississippi crew here in Los Angeles, and they're some of her best friends.
Yes.
and she's my honorary
It's true.
Mississippi girl.
It's true. But the compliment though is also just that you guys are just so you have such amazing reputations because you're always so incredibly kind to people. Yeah. And I think that
thanks.
everybody has a bad day now and then.
Please, are you kidding me?
But you
Lisa, you're seeing a lot of them.
But yeah, but
I'm
you're
not sure how.
always so gracious and kind. You make everyone feel important. You make everyone feel like heard. Like you, and I would imagine over the years, there's a certain level of exhaustion. I would think, I mean, that's why I hole up in my house. Well, not that
I've become more of
not
a
that I'm like-
recluse in my older days, but
I think, but it means a
don't
lot
know.
to.
But I think it's
to
also
your friends and fans.
where
and,
you're from, and I guess who you surround yourself with, and your family.
Yeah.
It all.
But it's also
plays into
it's
it.
lovely that you never take anything for granted, and you're really just you have a great heart.
Well,
you have a
thank
great
very
heart,
much.
Lance Bass.
Oh, why? Thank you. Yeah, but you're right. I don't take things for granted, and I don't take things very seriously either. So it's like
well,
myself very
speaking of
seriously.
that,
Yeah.
okay, so we do tend to talk about some pretty personal things
Yes.
on this podcast.
We've gotten deep already. This is great.
I know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
feel free to not answer if you don't want
Okay.
to.
After this bottle of wine I just drank, sure.
Do you think people treat you differently as a blonde?
That is a very good question, actually. I would say yes. Yes, I do. I think people do judge you with the color of your hair, especially because I'm kind of responsible for the frosted tips, and that really.
Hot frosted tip.
Really? I wouldn't
Yeah,
put
no,
hot
I'm
with that.
telling you,
Yeah.
you're sitting right next to me, and I don't think Chris would mind if I mentioned how sexy
Well,
you look.
Frosted Tips comes with a stereotype, and I think people judge me for that. But I think more than my blonde hair, people judge you for your accent because when you have a Southern accent, all of a sudden you're racist and just an idiot. So that's what I felt most of my life. Especially when I first
You thought that people thought you were racist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, when I first joined NSYNC, I was 16 years old, and I moved to Orlando, and I was with, someone from Brooklyn and DC and Maryland. And I just felt like everything that I would say, because I had such a Southern accent back then. I mean, you couldn't even understand what I said.
Can you give us like a little?
Well, give me some.
Can you like go back to those days for a little bit?
I'm gonna paint you 10 times on the cement. That's what I sounded like. So anytime I would speak, it was some kind of like race joke that would be put in there somehow. I'm like, okay, yeah, I felt really bad at times.
You know what? They're like, what's a good term for somebody who is judgmental towards a certain segment of the country? I don't know. I mean,
a bigot.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like there should be like a term like a regionalist.
Yeah.
Or like
you're such a regionalist.
I like that.
I'm sure there is a
because
real
it sounds
word for
like
this.
some of the people you worked with, they were regionalists.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, you tell someone you're from Mississippi, there's one thing that goes through your mind when you first hear that, right?
MIS, a big, large river.
Well, not, besides spelling it, yeah. The second thing is like, oh, you must be racist, or either you don't wear shoes. Yeah,
Really?
I get that. I get that all the time.
Wait, where does that come from? What does that mean exactly? Did no one wear shoes in Mississippi?
You tell me. I get that all the time.
What?
All the time. Do you wear shoes in Mississippi? And they're not even being
come here
funny.
barefoot.
Well, well, honestly, I do love being barefoot. It's kind of my favorite thing. But we do wear shoes in Mississippi. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! Wow. Well,
I mean, we created Oprah, guys. We created Oprah and Elvis Presley. All right, give us a break.
When I first moved here, I tell people I was from Seattle, and oftentimes I just went immediately to grunge, and I pretended to like grunge because I
don't like grunge? See, you seem like someone that would like grunge.
I do, but I wasn't. It was a bit of, I don't know. I was like all of us trying to fit in someplace.
So you would pretend to like grunge?
Yeah.
And wear flannels.
To fit in with the people who don't want to fit in. But obviously everyone wants to fit in. Anyway, but then now when I mention I'm from Seattle, there's a different idea a little bit because it's such it's a hip city now. And so I think they're like, oh my God, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
If you saw where like Lisa knows. Lisa's from Everett. And I'm from Edmond.
Did she tell you that? Because look, everywhere we go, someone's from Everett. Even Chris is from or near Everett.
One of my best friends is from Everett.
Yeah, see?
Exactly. Chris, you met Chris Kirk. Yeah.
I have not, but Chris Pratt grew up 10, 15 minutes from me.
Everyone grew up 10, 15 minutes from me. Everywhere I go, someone knows Everett. And the whole time,
this is so
as
weird.
long as I've known her for over 10 years, I just pictured Everett as this little teeny town that had a McDonald's and a stoplight. And that's it, right? So I'm like, this is so weird that everyone knows Everett and everyone's from Everett. I just found out maybe 9 months ago, maybe a year. Yeah. It's one of the biggest cities in Washington.
It's fourth biggest city.
8 high schools in it. I have no idea.
Listen, it's like what did you say? Fourth biggest
city. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
It's not saying a ton.
Well, I heard it stank for a while.
Wenatchee is probably number.
Ross Matthews said it stunk.
Because we used to have paper mills in Everett.
Oh, those would, those
and
stink.
it smelled so bad, but we got rid of them 15, 20 years ago.
There's this, so Seattle, Washington State being the land of coffee, there's this weird thing where there's lots of coffee huts that are independently owned.
Yeah. I worked at one for 6 years.
And, you guys know what I'm talking about, independent, like a family-owned coffee hut.
Yeah.
That's
we have one in Mississippi
called Cool Beans or whatever, and it's in a parking lot. But now they have ones. Since this wasn't happening when I was growing up, where they have topless.
Oh yeah,
topless girls.
Yeah, I've been seeing this.
But can you imagine?
And guys too.
And it's called like milk jugs or
you have to be 21 to get into.
No, it's a drive.
No, it's a drive-through. You drive up to a small cabin-like structure, right?
Like those old photo huts.
But what do you mean by topless?
They're not
they
wearing
open up the
tops.
big window that comes like, that's like that's like
boob high.
boob high, and they're topless.
You can't.
And they
Really?
make you
That's
your like,
legal?
and up there it's like you get your like Hershey Milky Way latte or whatever. Like they shouldn't call it a latte. They should just call it a warm milkshake made by a topless person.
Melted milkshake.
But yeah, it's a whole thing. The topless.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
topless
huge.
coffee hut
Yeah.
thing. But can you imagine? Let's say, right? It's February in Everett, Washington. It's 37 degrees, and like every 2 minutes, you have to open up that window from your little tiny hut
Well, you
It's
get
to
freezing.
serve.
Well, you have to
at like
pay.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
to serve a dude who's like going to his work and he's like, hey, Chantel, what's up today? And you're like, oh, you want the usual?
You have to pay an extra 50 cents in the wintertime because you get hard nipples.
Oreo, like double dunked Oreo latte.
But I can't even imagine the people that are not familiar with these topless coffee huts and they just pull up because they just want
Right,
coffee,
yeah,
and all of a
right.
sudden
But,
a topless girl serves
Yeah.
them a coffee from a drive-through
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
Winnebago full of children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have those when I worked at one, for the
No.
record.
You weren't.
No.
I think you're lying, Lisa.
No, I was
you were,
not.
You were one of them. You started the whole
I
thing.
started the movement.
With those jugs, she should have.
Okay, Lance. No, those were.
She was the inspiration. Apparently.
No, but we didn't have those back then. They're fairly new. I mean,
Yeah.
Are y'all shaped differently? Because basically, your coffee shops in Seattle are
Yeah.
our snow cone places in
yeah,
Mississippi.
they're double the size because I've seen
Oh,
your
yeah.
snow cone
and
places.
and then there's a coffee place now in Mississippi called Cups, but it's in the shape of a cup.
Yeah,
it's a
we have
little bitty
those.
thing. Okay, yeah,
That's adorable.
yeah, it's cute.
It's cute.
Anyway, so
Rapid fires?
next time, yes, but next
fires.
time, Sim,
Next time, what? I'm gonna go.
yeah, if
And-
you,
going
I want
along.
you and Amy to come up to Seattle. I'm
Okay.
going to give you the whole tour. I'm going to have you stay in like my childhood bedroom, or you can stay in the playhouse.
The playhouse is pretty awesome.
I would love that.
Okay, you and Amy. My mom
Yeah.
will cook. You got food for you guys, and
Okay.
we'll go out for a coffee run, and I'll force Amy to go through one of these drive-throughs with.
And not tell her at
Perfect.
all.
And not tell her at all. And hopefully she does
Yes.
not listen to this podcast.
Oh, that's right.
And you wouldn't believe how tan some of these gals are for
amazing.
being in sort of an orange tinge tan.
Oh, yeah,
but
spray
And they
tan's a
also
big
wear
thing.
thongs too. I don't know if you've seen the full body ones.
oh, I haven't seen the full
Yeah,
body ones.
thongs.
God, that's so cold.
Freezing.
Yeah,
I
they're
would
full on
freeze, and I was like in
bikinis.
coats and sweaters and things.
Like, don't you think you would just work? Wouldn't you make a lot more money at a strip club or?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I made a lot of money, but that was like
I
when
mean,
they were
coffee
huge.
it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, I would make in a morning $85
Really?
in tips. I'm not topless, so
So imagine
And you
double
probably
that.
had your regulars, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
well-
was like looking forward to.
right. Mornings are about 90% regular, so I would have there be like 3 cars on each side, and I'd have all their drinks ready by the time they got to the window because they'd be all regular.
Oh,
So I made a lot of money.
you were good.
Yeah.
It was a great job. I
You
loved
made your
that.
regulars regular in the morning.
I did. And the pregnant lady that would come through, I'd give her decaf.
Well,
Yeah, she would order caffeinated, and I felt bad.
And I know some we are going to move on to rapid
No,
fire really
we
quickly,
don't
but I
have
do
to.
want to tell you a funny story. So, one of Chris's childhood friends, this guy he's really close with, I won't name his name, started going to one of these drive-through places in Everett, and you know because the window is about breast high, and he every morning he would go and flirt with this girl, this cute
Okay.
blonde, you know, but she wasn't a topless one, but she was a cute blonde, and like she'd be like, hey, I don't know, whatever. I'm like, and he would flirt, and finally he worked up the courage to ask her out, and so she says yes. They meet at a restaurant, and she's 8 months pregnant.
that's awesome.
That's a great story.
And they were together for 2 years.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
That's the Washington
story.
way.
I love it.
He was such a gentleman. He stayed 2 years, raised that
What a
baby.
guy. Amazing.
But wouldn't you think, like, somewhere along the way, she would have been like, "Oh, it's kicking,"
By the way, it's
or
Yeah.
That's good. That is good.
Anyway, okay. So now we are going to go to rapid fire.
Okay.
We're going to alternate, Sim and I.
Uh-huh.
It is what it is. If you'd like to elaborate on anything, feel free to.
Okay.
But mostly, if you just want to do a one word,
All
whatever,
right. Just whatever comes to my mind.
whatever you want
All
to
right.
do.
I can do this.
This is your show, Lance.
All right.
Bass.
Love it. Taking over.
Okay.
Wait, I have to start because I want you to
Okay,
say the last
great.
one. Where did you grow up?
Laurel, Mississippi. Oh, and by the way, do you watch?
Uh-oh.
I know I'm getting into a story already. This is not probably what this game is, right?
No.
Okay, sorry. It's
I mean-
hometown on one of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll look it up later.
it's great.
Make and model of your first car.
Buick Century.
Favorite professional sports team?
It's so hard. I have so many. Green Bay Packers.
Most underrated boy or girl band.
Oh my God, I know this for you.
Underrated. Boy would be 98 Degrees. Girl would be GRL.
Oh,
Nice.
Look it up.
Favorite. Oh, sorry.
Favorite David Bowie song? Rest in peace.
Power of Voodoo, Hoodoo, get the power of the babe. That movie scared me, creeped me out, and I loved him for
It
that.
was super creepy, you're right? Apple pie or chocolate cake?
Chocolate cake. I know it's not Mississippi in me.
One goal you'd like to accomplish during your lifetime?
Have a baby.
Favorite superhero?
Superman, just because of Henry Cavill.
Favorite cartoon character?
Ren and Stimpy.
Which one?
I'm more of a Stimpy guy.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night, for sure. Ugh, hate mornings.
Weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Chocolate covered crickets.
That's pretty good. Tell us a quirky habit of yours. That was Sims, by the way.
Yeah, quirky habit.
I know.
Nice giggles
these
here.
ones are.
Like,
These are a tough one. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know my own habits.
is it sad I could answer almost all these for you?
Well, Lisa, why don't you answer that one then first?
His quirkiest, I don't really, I mean,
Does he have like a pet peeve that's a little bit weird?
oh my God, he has so
Love
many.
reviews.
I mean, the fact that he wants all elderly people to not have licenses. That's always a
that seems practical.
Well, I just want to have the license to take away people's
Yes,
licenses.
that's what he
and
wants.
a lot of them happen to be old.
That's that voting power, though.
Yeah.
But you're not saying that
because
all
they're-
old drivers are bad.
No,
Like,
just
yes,
the you know the ones.
Yeah.
You know the ones. Yeah.
And I've never met someone that is so, he touches anything technological and it just dies.
It's true.
Like goes into freak out
That's something
mode.
quirky about me. It's so weird. Anything I touch is just weird. When I have to wear my earpiece for Meredith Vieira show, halfway through every single show, it goes, it just goes nuts.
He just
They
has
can't
that
figure it out.
thing in him. And anytime
Keep
I would,
away from my iPad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you should.
It's very electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Okay,
This one.
Sim.
Who would play in the movie version of your life?
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Ooh, I love that answer.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I love that because I got to tell you, he would love to he loves to sing and dance.
Yeah.
And he's a ham. So not to say, but he would love to do. Oh my God, he would love that.
Okay, well,
Okay. And the last question, men or women?
men all day long. You're like, right answer. Right answer.
I know, but I do feel a little jealous.
Oh, don't be jealous.
Well, I can't help it.
No other woman can have me. Except you.
Really?
Yeah.
See, but not really.
Well,
Really?
well.
If I get you a little drunk?
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and the lofty goal of creating boutique-quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Sunglasses, with or without a prescription, start at $95 and, just like eyeglasses, are available through their home try-on program. You just choose 5 pairs and see which ones you like. I was surprised by how quickly they arrived, which presented me with the immediate problem of deciding which ones to keep. I loved all of them, so you can guess what happened. And not only can you feel good about how cool you look, you can also feel good knowing that for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need through partnerships with nonprofits like Vision Spring. Offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams, Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. So put your FSA or HSA dollars to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/unqualified. That's warbyparker.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by ZocDoc. Who gets excited about trying a new restaurant that has 2 out of 5 stars? When it comes to finding healthcare, don't ratings matter even more? ZocDoc is a free app where you can compare doctors, read reviews from real patients, and even make same-day appointments. When I finally called to reschedule my dentist appointment, I was told that my dentist had been retired for nearly 3 years. In my defense, parking was a nightmare. Through ZocDoc, I found a new dentist who had great reviews, took my insurance, and whose office was actually within walking distance. I was also able to book an appointment instantly without talking to a receptionist who made me feel guilty about not having my teeth cleaned for 3 years. My new dentist didn't make me feel guilty either, and only suggested I floss a little more often. Whether you need a primary care physician, dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or other specialist, ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. Go to ZocDoc.com/unqualified and download the ZocDoc app. Sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor who might be available as soon as today. That's ZocDoc.com/unqualified.
Ready to call another listener?
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Do you like the word splooge?
I love splooge. I love all those words, though. But you don't like panties and stuff, right?
Oh, there's no word that bothers me.
Oh, okay. I like that you don't like
No.
moist.
No, not at all.
Brad.
Hello.
Brad?
Hi.
Hey, you're on Unqualified, and Lance Bass is here. Anna is here, of course.
Hi, Brad.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Sim. Hi,
Hey,
Lan.
thank you for staying up kind of late for us.
Of course, no problem.
That's so kind of you. Where are you?
I am just at home right now.
Like in your bed, on your couch? I need a good visual.
Just on the couch.
She wants to know what you're wearing, Brad.
Oh.
Well, I do.
Just a flannel, nothing special.
Yeah, well, Anna's into flannel. She's from Seattle.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt, so
And she
things are
loves
getting
grunge.
hot
Grunge
here.
is her favorite type of music.
All right, Brad, this is a little serious. So you recently came out to some of your college friends, and now you feel like you're ready to start dating and being yourself. But these buddies of yours are advising you to hit the brakes, and this is an upsetting situation. So give us more background, and hopefully Lance and Anna can help you out here.
Yeah, of course. And first, real quick, I just want to say, Anna, I think you're a comedy genius. Smiley Face is like one of my favorite movies ever.
Thank you.
But I think what you're doing with this podcast here is especially great. And so I feel really lucky to have been called. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You made my month, which means my year right now. But I so appreciate it. And Smiley Face holds such a special place in my heart. I can't believe I got to play a character that felt like only dudes kind of get to play, and it was such a joy to make. And anyway, thank you. It's I love it. I always love that compliment about I love fans of Smiley Face because it's.
Why do you have a picture of lasagna in your house?
But anyway, thank you, Brad, and thanks for being a fan of the podcast. It's been such a fun journey.
So the background on my story, I guess, is like Sim said, I went to college, and it was in the southeast area, and I had a solid big group of friends and that sort of thing. But since I was kind of in, I guess, the Bible Belt, I guess, I did have some pretty Christian friends. And I decided my senior year to come out, and that process went very well. I feel very fortunate in the fact that everyone was really great about that. But then I kind of came back to my friends later, and I was like, I think I really want to start pursuing this and putting myself out there and that sort of thing. And some of them just didn't really agree with that at all. Like they kind of thought that I should be celibate, which was kind of I guess a spit take moment for me. Yeah. I mean, I had a
celibate until you were married, or celibate forever?
I mean, forever, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
like
the Christian way.
Never pursue a relationship, sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I had a hard time hearing that too. And I mean, obviously, my first reaction was like, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But my question, I guess, is, and I guess I should preface that by that was only a select few of my friends, and most of them are very loving and accepting and only want the best for me, which is great. But my question about the specific friends kind of centers on what I should do about these friends. Part of me wants to kind of kick that negativity out of my life, even though I did share a lot of my college experience with them. But the other part of me thinks that, maybe I should stick around to kind of show them that, people are like this and it's totally okay and good, and the stance that they have is kind of bullshit. So, that's my whole.
Brad, that's so incredibly mature. Isn't even the right word. That's just so kind of beautiful of you.
And you hit it right on the head. I mean, trust me, I'm from Mississippi, and I came out, and I've had the same exact experience with some of my friends who just are uncomfortable about it. And you have to understand, a lot of religious people, they get brainwashed into thinking a certain way. And yes, as Christians, it's okay to be gay. You just can't act on it. That's what they believe. That's what they keep saying.
I don't understand.
I know, but that's
the
just
logic of
but
that.
that's just what they're taught.
Yeah, it is hard to grasp.
Yeah. But you are so right. Yeah, don't kick them out of your life, because think about the learning experience they're going to have with you once you start dating people, and then they get used to it. I mean, it's all about exposing people to new things, and they will totally get used to it and be fine with it. And then they'll be kicking themselves in the ass thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I actually thought that way back then. Yeah. But people do change. They really do once they're around that. And same thing with my family. I mean, they didn't know a gay person until I came out. So they were so confused on what that was and what that community was. And everyone just thinks, all the stereotypical things, and they throw, AIDS and all that type of stuff in it. So it's just everything just terrible that, people stereotype until they get to know you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole, that's the story of our lives with all misconceptions with people and prejudgment. But, so do you think let's say, you started dating somebody serious. Do you say seriously or serious?
I always get confused with the LYs. I really do.
I was an English
Seriously.
major. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're dating somebody and it seems like it's going well.
There you go.
would you feel comfortable with some of these people saying like, hey, I'd love to introduce you to this person, or I'd love to talk to you about this. I know that it's not necessarily your comfort zone, but how do you feel if I talked about it? Like I don't know if that kind of level of sort of honest communication where it's like, I want to invite you into my life. I want to tell you about these things. Let me know, sort of when you're ready, or like when,
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think, Lance?
Well, I don't even think you need to go in depth with that. I think things just should happen. I mean, you don't have to tell them about your sex life, because, I mean, obviously that's what makes them uncomfortable, and that means half of them are in the closet, by the way. Because no, like, real straight guy would care. And every straight guy loves to have a GBF, a gay best friend now. I mean, that's kind of like the new black. Yeah. It's like, it's like the new cool thing. So yeah.
Why do you think you're here, Lance?
I mean, duh. I'm her GBF. I mean, serious. But yeah, you're not going to go into details about your sex life, but as long as they just, see you dating someone and they're coming around, they're going to fall in love with this person.
Okay. So let's say though, his friends, some of his slightly, I don't want to say closed-minded, but
they are closed-minded. I mean, ignorant is not. I mean, it's not such a bad word. It's just they're ignorant. They just don't know better yet.
Right?
Yeah.
Because of like what you said, lack of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that he can just show up at a barbecue with his boyfriend without, because then it would be so gossipy, right? Then like everything's
who
about
cares?
like, well, no, but I know who. But what I'm saying is like I would hate for it to be like for catty people to be like, oh, was he doing that to like shove our faces in his
put it in my face. I love when people say that. Just don't shove it in my face.
Tell us that he was bringing Joey or whomever. You know what I mean? Like,
but the more you make it seem normal and it doesn't affect you, the easier it will be for them to finally make it normal in their lives.
Okay, so let's say he's getting invited to a barbecue. Mm-hmm. Adam? Brad. Oh my God, Brad. Yeah. Fuck. Wow. And you are a fan of Smiley Face, which, Brad, I must confess, I may have been guilty of some of the things my character is guilty of. Brad. Okay. Let's say you're invited to a barbecue and you want to bring your boyfriend, if you have a boyfriend at that time. I just wouldn't want the scenario to be like, I just wouldn't want a bunch of catty women and men sort of like wanting to have their version of the story be, so what I'm suggesting is I like the idea.
Do you think they'd be catty in front of him or like behind his back? Yeah.
And so what I like the idea of is like Brad saying like, hey, I really want to come to your barbecue. I would love to bring my boyfriend. Are you guys are couples cool? Like, is it like a couples thing? Mm-hmm. Sort of phrasing it like that, or like, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, giving them any excuse to be on the defense of like, well, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Mm-hmm. This is a world I am very unqualified about, but
hence the show.
But I wonder, and maybe some people, I love it that your instinct, Brad and Lance, is to educate, because I think that is wonderful and hugely important, and to like just the more exposure, the more
and just being yourself.
Yeah.
And if it does become an issue, then you know that
then you eliminate those
exactly,
people, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they make the choice for you. Right? In a sense, like if
they make it very easy for you.
They're ugly and can't be supportive, awesome friends to you who love you and want you happy and in their lives, then
and the bottom line, Brad, you just have to be yourself. Like, I mean, you can't change anything about yourself. So, I mean, you just have to be yourself.
I've done a few movies about this.
Yeah.
House Bunny.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Particularly the 4. Yeah.
But I bet that it's, I don't know what the experience you're going through is, but I really admire your courage. And have things with your family been good? And have they been?
That is not an avenue that I've gone down yet. The telling my friends was a pretty recent thing. I guess like maybe a year. And I just kind of wanted to see how that went first.
Were
that in
they?
itself,
Oh, sorry. No. I didn't.
No,
I didn't mean to cut you off. No, you were going to say something really much more interesting than I was.
I was going to say, like that in itself was kind of something that I had to work myself up to. And so after that, I was like, okay, like that was all right, except for, this situation. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break and then, maybe think of when the, I guess, most opportune, time would be to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's always the scariest to go in the family. You always use the friends as the barometer first to see how it goes. And then once you feel like, oh, okay, I feel confident now that, people actually love me. They don't hate me now. And then it's time to rip the Band-Aid off for the family.
One of my brother, I have an older brother, and he was on crew at University of Washington with, and I was, oh my God, I'm 3 years younger than he is. And when I was around the crew guys, oh my God, I was just swooning because they're all like 6'4" and like, I don't know, broad-shouldered, amazing hotties.
You were in heat.
I was. They wouldn't. I was like in headgear still, so whatever. but one of his best friend came out to him much later in their friendship. Like my brother had gotten married, he was his best man, and it was a guy actually that I totally crushed on too. But my brother's reaction, he was bummed, but he was bummed because he felt like his friend hadn't been able to tell him, like his close friend that he felt closer to than any other friends in his life hadn't been able to tell him something crucially important. They're now incredibly close, and they never weren't. But I remember my brother telling me about it, and I remember his feeling was like, I just felt sad that there was something so huge in his life that he never.
Well, they feel sad, and they also feel lied to. I mean, I went through a lot of that where my friends, didn't talk to me for a while after I came out, just because they were like, "Well, why'd you lie to me?" I'm like, "Well, it's not that black and white. It's not like I lied to you. I just didn't tell you something important that I was very scared of saying." But even to this day, Chris Kirkpatrick from my group, our relationship still has not gotten back to that amazing friendship because he was so hurt that I couldn't tell him, that I didn't tell him.
And that's kind of a selfish place, though, a little bit.
It can be, but I understand where it comes from.
I understand, but you gotta, you have to move past it and be empathetic and understand, like it's I love to think that everything is changing, and I think that it is, but there was a time when it was. I can't imagine how difficult that journey is, and when whatever. But I think that was the same thing with my brother because his best friend would, I think, play a little bit of the card of like he would tell my brother that he wanted to date this girl or whatever, like. I think hired, I don't know if they were strippers or something for his, I'm not sure if whatever, whatever. It's a marriage. It's not happening anymore. But for like his bachelor party. And I think my brother mostly felt, like there was
betrayal.
Yeah. And he was never that dramatic about it. But I think it was like, oh man, were you putting on a little bit of an act for me because you were worried that I would judge you, and maybe I don't know. My brother is he's an incredible person. I don't think he would have ever judged him, but I can understand why his friend would feel fearful of that. Of course, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Like in my mind, it was just kind of something that logic didn't really help. Like I knew that my friends cared about me and loved me and that sort of thing, but there was always that doubt that was like, what if they do, just get so angry that I didn't tell them this, or, in their eyes, if they do see it as lying, like, what if they do get so angry about that? So it's kind of something that, like, I think, deep down in your heart, you kind of know they're not going to care, that sort of thing. But it is something that I think doubt, just kind of gets in your mind, and you're like, but what if? And I think that's what kind of holds people back for so long.
Brad, were there different levels of surprise amongst your friends? Like, do you think that some of them maybe felt like they knew you a little better and maybe had an idea, or was everyone pretty shocked?
No one was like Macaulay Culkin, hands to your face, like shocked or anything. Most people had kind of, there were definitely like some telltale signs, some stereotypes that I guess fit into, but there were some people that were like, I had my suspicions, and then I had some friends who were like, oh, honey, you don't need to tell us that, we already know. So, which was nice to hear.
Yeah.
But no, there was never anyone that was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, or anything like that.
Lance, did you have any of that?
I had all the above. Half the people,
whole spectrum?
Well, half the people that said, "Oh, I knew the whole time," did not know the whole time. I could tell. I'm like, no, you didn't, because you would have said something, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's the whole spectrum is out there. Of
Did you ever have anyone like who you felt flinch if you touched them, if you hugged them, or this is a totally heterosexual, weird nerd girl question.
I can't think of anyone in my life that got that weirded out. No, so they must have.
I'm not even that heterosexual now that I think about. Sorry, I just got my own head. Sorry.
Yeah.
But did you feel like people, like the people that were close to you, didn't necessarily treat you?
No, not at all. Not at all. The only time people and it's all in my head, because when you go into a gym locker room, and then of course people know, oh well, he's gay, and I always wonder if they're like looking at me to make sure that I'm not looking at them.
I bet they're hoping you're...
No, but and it's totally all in my head for sure. But like, those are the thoughts that you go through. Like, even if you go to a public bathroom and people know who you are, and the first thing that goes through their mind is like, oh, this gay guy's in the bathroom with me, and now I'm peeing a urinal next to him. Is he looking at my dick? That's going through my mind.
Right.
Just because I'm putting that on them.
Right.
But that's my own little demons.
Right. Yeah. But both genders are we have major issues with sexuality in completely different ways.
Yeah.
I had a couple of girlfriends over the other night, and we were showing each other and feeling each other's boobs. and
go on.
Well, yeah, but and they spent the night, and we all slept in the same bed together, which I was telling Sim about. I was like, it is that weird thing that where I have two other beds. Everyone could have had their own bed, and there was no like, we weren't like making out with each other.
Just feeling each other's breasts. That's it.
Right.
Well, it's a different bond
I'm sorry, straight men out there, but
it is a bond that girls have, but I think is changing for guys, and especially with these millennials. We were just talking about this the other day, that there was an episode of Friends where Joey and Ross slept on the couch together. They woke up on the couch together, and they woke up and they thought it was so weird that they would sleep on the same couch together. And now these days,
oh my God, you're right. That would never be a storyline anymore.
Yeah, it would just be like, okay, great, we're sleeping next to each other. Yeah, not a story at all.
No, no, you're totally right about that. Yeah. There's, which is awesome. So, are you planning, Brad, on telling your family? How do you feel about that road, that journey?
I think it will come with time. I think there will be a time, hopefully, where it's kind of inevitable, where, I am in a relationship, and it's something that, I kind of have to do. But I think right now, at least, that's what I'm kind of waiting for is when it's, I guess, more of a necessity, and, you know, they can't really be like, no, because, you know, if I am already dating someone very seriously, you know, that makes it a little bit harder to just be like, but, you know, what about this?
We all say the same exact thing, Brad. It's so crazy. Yeah, because I didn't want to tell my family until I was in love with someone, because I thought that would be so much easier. And I didn't tell my family until I was in love with someone. Yeah. Well, then they found out online first. Then I had to tell them. Yeah, I know.
But was it easier or harder than you thought it was going to be?
It was a lot. Well, it ended up being easier than I thought, but I had a sister that she was the buffer, because once they kind of figured it out online before I could really tell them, they called my sister and said, "Does this mean that Lance is gay?" And my sister was like, "Yes, Mom, this means he's gay." And so I didn't have that experience of ripping the Band-Aid off, you know, for them. I didn't get to hear that.
I think that's good, though, right?
Well, it was easier on me, for sure.
Yeah, because they were able to take a minute to digest.
Yeah. And it did. It took them a week to be able to get on the phone with me to discuss this, because, you know, your parents, you think that they might have an inkling. You would think that they would say, okay, well, maybe he is, because, I mean, come on. Look back at me. I mean, there were definitely signs. I mean, come on. I had frosted tips, for God's sake. But, you know, but my mom was like, I was in such denial, I guess. She had no idea. Like, no idea. But she's like, I guess now looking back, I see. Yeah, I totally see now. But I guess I was in such denial.
Well, and also though, and this is changing, which is amazing. But I really think the big thing with parents, is that all they think about is grandkids.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Because the future that they had for you when you were born, it's already in their head. They see the person you're walking down the aisle with, the kids they're going to have. So that just goes away.
Well, when you leave the nest, they get lonely, they get needy, and then they just start thinking about the babies that you might have.
Yeah.
So if, you know, you come out, then at least it used to be, you know, a little bit more difficult to adopt, to have surrogacy wasn't necessarily, I don't know.
Well, it wasn't popular, that's for sure, yeah.
But now I think because I really think, don't you think to me, that seems like the big hang up back in the day is like,
yeah,
I won't have grandkids.
Oh, totally. And, you know, and your parents react completely different from what you would ever imagine. I thought my dad would have the hardest time because, yeah, I'm the only son. I'm the one, you know, continuing the Bass name. And then my mom would be totally cool with it, but it was the opposite. So my dad, I mean, I told him, and the first thing he said, "Are you safe?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right." I mean, that's all he said. I'm like, "Really?" Like,
yeah.
He was that cool with it. And then my mom, you know, cried for a week because not that she hated I was gay, she thought she did it to me. Because she was in that mindset where you chose it.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, that's what you learn in church. You choose this.
And she thought she did it.
Yeah. So she thought she mothered me too much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. So they go through that. Yeah. Until they realize a month later, like, okay, that's dumb.
Brad, oh man. Well, listen, I think, you know, we've talked a little bit about this with other issues on the show, but friends and the people in your life reveal themselves. They reveal their hand. And anybody who's making you feel bad for any reason at all, like, I think there's just not enough time to have.
And a lot of those friends, Brad, are gonna, you know, they're gonna disappear from your life just because that's just natural. Yep. And, you know, now that, you know,
and they're going to miss you. They're going to lose out on an awesome friend.
But all the people you're going to gain, especially in the LGBT community, because now you're opening yourself up to meeting people like you, and you're going to want to start hanging out with people like you because, you know, you want to go to those bars every once in a while. You have to meet someone that's gay.
Fun.
So, you know, you're going to have a whole slew of new friends coming into your life. So you're not going to even have time for some of those old ones that you might have to weed out.
Yeah, and you know what? And I do think the journey of, I would imagine, Lance, you can totally correct me, but I would imagine that the journey of being closeted for a while, for a long time, is there's so much weight and so much guilt that you don't need anyone else in your life sort of reinforcing.
I mean, we're
any
already
of those
stunted
feelings.
enough in the dating scene because we had to suppress ourselves so much.
Yeah.
So, Brad, don't suppress yourself at all. Be yourself. Don't be embarrassed to bring someone around someone, hold someone's hand. You be you. Don't worry about anyone else because you deserve
Don't
to
you
feel
think
that.
that Brad should go to this barbecue that I made up?
Yes, I want to be at this barbecue.
And I feel like he should go up to like the broed out dude, whoever's like weighing heavy on your mind, and be like, "Hey man, so I know that you know that I'm gay. Do you have any questions about gay sex that I can answer for you?"
It's like, do you have someone you could set me up with?
Because I just want to tell you, like, yeah, here's how it goes down. No, but actually, though, Lance, I do kind of want to know how it goes down sometimes.
Just ask, are you a top or a bottom?
But is that a thing? Isn't there a lot of both?
Yeah, of course. It's the whole spectrum. Again, nothing's black and white in straight or gay relationships. There's certain people like certain things all around.
But do you think this is it's a little bit of a tangent. It might be a little bit of a smiley face tangent for some of us, but for me. But do you think that there's been a little bit of a disservice with the top and bottom, strict categorization? It's almost like heterosexual home. It's like trying to break out of one idea, and yet there's this
and you try to typecast you again,
right?
Yeah. No,
What's that about, Lance?
I don't know what it's about, Anna, but I do have to say, in our own community, we give each other too much shit.
There is. There's like the bear. Like,
yeah, I mean, everyone.
What are
It's
the
just
categories?
too many. Well, there's otters, bears, cubs.
What's an otter?
Otter is a young bear, basically. Like it's kind of like a cub, but it's less hairy.
Okay, so like somebody like in their mid-20s.
They're younger. I'd say in their 20s.
They got a little. They got a little.
Maybe
meat.
a swimmer's build. Swimmer's build otter.
Oh, maybe or a little heavier or no swimmer's build. That's
yeah.
sleek.
No, you're a little more muscularly.
Not. They don't have any. They're not packing any extra pounds.
No, that's when you're a full-on bear.
Even in your early 20s, you're a bear.
Yeah, you can be a cub if you have a little extra
I
pounds.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
Cub before a bear.
Okay,
but
what
otters
else?
more like swim. Yeah.
What else?
What are the other animals that we have?
Well, there's a twink, but that's
Twink.
not a bear.
What's a twink?
Twink
No.
is like looks like a teenage boy, like a boyish look.
Okay.
Very young looking.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's your daddy.
And that's
Just older.
Right.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much. Brad, am I missing something?
yeah, Brad. Any more animals?
Are you on Grindr, Brad? Do you know the?
Yeah, is there any more objectifying
all.
community
I think
than
you got 'em
the
all.
gay men of? No, I wonder what I would be if I were gay. What would I be?
You might be a twink.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
a
I'd say
twink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
Because you're
What
like
do you
you're
wanna
little. You're
I don't know. I wanted to be
Young
something
looking.
like. I feel like a twink. I probably am a twink.
Yeah, you're a twink. See, I'm Ellen DeGeneres. You're a twink.
I was gonna say because I feel like a twink is kind of like a eager, like little, and which I totally am. I'm like
That eager beaver.
like, hey guys, does anyone want to like me? I'll be your tiny dancer.
Yeah, you're a twink.
Go.
Hey, Brad, thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing your
thank
story, your
you.
situation with us, and thank you so much for hanging with us. And we really, really
And Brad, sorry, I didn't.
go ahead.
Sim,
No,
I'm sorry.
no,
Fuck you, Sim.
I was waiting for that.
But Brad, I want to hear more. If you feel like following up with an email or something, and I hope that I can't. Like I said, I can't. I imagine this is a difficult and brave and courageous journey, and
Yeah.
we're here in my dining room in Los Angeles, but really moved by your personal story
And if
your
you're
journey.
ever feeling down, all you can say is, "Look, I'm friends with Anna Faris now, so bitches, I don't care."
That's true. And Lance Bass.
Yeah, and me.
And Sim Sarna. And Lisa Del Cabo.
Fuck
And Mike
yourself.
Flynn. And Alicia Lancey. Yeah, but best of luck, and I hope that you find a tremendous sense of liberation and happiness
And you go find some love. You
That's
deserve it.
right. You don't let
Thank you all
anyone
so
tell
much.
you
I
that you're an
appreciate it.
animal.
All right, Brad.
Thanks,
Good
Brad.
to talk to you, man.
Okay.
Thanks.
I loved him.
Oh, what a great guy.
Aw. I mean, so it's weird to think still people that people still go through that, right? You think we've come so far, but people are still living that same fear.
Do you think it's a regional thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, it is regional, but even right outside Los Angeles,
Right.
there's people thinking the same thing. But yeah, it's a little easier. But there's, it's a small town thing. It's, a religious thing. But yeah. I mean, I know it's worse in the South for sure.
And I really do think that while if parents express disappointment in a child coming out, I think that it's easy to take it as like, oh, they're disappointed in me morally. But I really think that there's a big 60% of if they are feeling disappointed, it is just the grandchild fact. I mean, I know that because, or at least, I have my parents' only grandchild, Jack, and they're so obsessed with him. And I am so dismissed. They can't stand me. And so, I mean, I know they love me, whatever, but they are all about it. And I think that it's, when you're younger, you don't realize that they are truly waiting for that
that's all
baby to come around.
Yeah, that's what they've been waiting for. So they have to live for it now.
That maybe that means that wouldn't be a part of their
You're
lives.
going to take that joy away from them.
Right. But the truth is now there's so many options, and there's ways for everyone to have to be able to give their
But some just don't
parents choice.
realize that yet.
Sim is looking at me with
I'm not. Why do you always?
Those judging eyes.
no, it's not judging. This time it was like this. It was like, like kind, but also like move it along. Yes, you've made the point several times. Everyone gets it.
He's like, I will edit that out.
Why don't
Yeah.
we do this?
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? We're not going to edit out anything. Well, we might. But why don't we do this? Why don't we call one more person?
Okay.
And then
We'll wrap
it
her up.
We're going to have to wrap. Oof, I
I
didn't
hope
prepare
she.
anything.
We're having so much fun. I don't want to wrap this up. But
And I want you to also talk about some stuff, whatever you want to talk about too.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know, the stuff that you're excited about. Okay.
and the stuff that you're doing now, we would love to hear that.
Oh, yeah, I'll catch you up. Don't
But
worry about
we'll
that.
do this first call. And
Okay.
I think she's in New York, so it's late there. I hope she picks up.
New Yorkers don't
Oh,
sleep.
it is. It's like 103 there.
Oh, that's early in New York.
Yeah.
People don't sleep.
What's her name?
Her name is Toby.
Toby.
Do you think Toby took an Ambien?
I hope so.
Hello?
Toby!
Oh my goodness, hello.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry we're calling you so late.
It's really okay. I'm bartending until 4 a.m.
That's
Oh
what
my
I
God.
thought.
You're working
Well-
right now? You're taking a break?
No, nobody's here. I've been alone since 10.
What bar do you
Wow.
work at? I need to come to this bar. I love an empty bar.
Yeah.
By the way,
I work at a
that's
local
Lance
bar.
Bass, by the way, talking.
Hello, Toby.
That's who?
Lance
Lance
Bass.
Bass.
Hi.
Hello.
I know, he's the best. He's been my friend for a long time, and he
Aw.
agreed to come on the podcast tonight.
Well, I'm glad that he's on this call as well.
Thanks for submitting your question. Okay.
Toby,
Sorry.
Toby, so
Sim's
you're
getting me on track.
No, I'm
Sorry.
not. I'm not.
No, I know you
Listen,
need to. I love that.
I don't want to annoy you when I do
No,
this.
are you kidding? You never annoy me.
Now, what happens if someone comes and orders a drink during this interview?
Yes.
Oh, well, you know what? We can
nobody-
we can talk to them
nobody's here.
too.
No one's here at all.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if someone comes in, like put them on speaker, put it on speaker, so we can talk
Yeah.
to them as well.
Maybe I'll tweet it out right now. Like, go visit
Go
our
to this
girl
bar,
Toby
right.
right now. It just gets packed. Actually, no one follows me on Twitter, so it would not get packed.
I don't have that many. I like to think of them as my family. That's how I soothe myself.
It's my tweeple.
Toby's in her first real relationship right now, and some of your boyfriend's flaws are really beginning to annoy you. So, what exactly do you mean by that?
So, and they're not like anything big, really. It's one of the things that I even noticed like 2 months ago when we started really dating was he chews gum all the time, but he does it in a way it's loud and it's like ferocious, and I don't have like a nice way to say please don't do that.
and I feel like I'm being annoying and like nitpicking, and I'm nervous that it might spiral into more things.
Okay, wait. I want to get into more of those things, but are there any more? Let's talk about that. Are there other annoyances that seem kind of minor, but that sort of get under your skin?
Right now it's that one. I mean, sometimes he makes a lot of jokes, and sometimes I want those to stop a little. We've been friends for 10 years, so.
Like, what do you mean, like jokes, like topping other people's jokes, or like teasing jokes, or
like teasing, so we'll be talking and he'll be saying like ridiculous things, and I just want him to be a little serious and just like tone down on the jokes.
Is this in social situations, or is it just the two of you?
No, just the two of us, just one-on-one.
And he doesn't tease joke like, babe, I don't know, like, I see like those, I don't know, thighs are getting like, meaty. I don't know what, like, I don't know. I mean,
so for instance, he's a teacher.
Uh-huh.
And he'll make jokes about like being a bad teacher when I know he's not. But I just want him to like be confident in his like being a good teacher. Mm-hmm. You know, does that make sense?
Yes, but okay. I have so many thoughts going through my head right now. First, to address the teacher thing, it's such an incredible profession. I come from a family of teachers, and my cousin, my brother's a professor, my whole family, whatever. But my cousin is a teacher, and I sometimes I just can't imagine what it must be like to be with a bunch of children all day long. And like how you must sort of crave kind of being a little bit naughty, or like, you know, or like saying kind of like the things
just
that you
the
can't.
Wrong thing.
The wrong thing.
It's
yeah.
like wanting to push a kid down, but you just can't.
Yeah. So when you get off work because you've had to restrain yourself and be with children all day long, and you have to clearly watch what you say and blah, 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 that when you get home or when you're with your friends, you need a release. You have to be like, oh my God, I'm so tired of being this character of, you know, of the teacher. And so maybe there's something, am I tapping into anything there? Do you think that there's anything? So when he wants to tell you about like kind of being a bad teacher. Release. Yeah. Like I feel a little bit about that way about being a mom. Like sometimes I'll be like, you know, and I'll say like something that, you know, about Jack, like, well, today he had pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or whatever. You know, I don't know if that's an equivalent, but I don't know. I guess it's sort of like looking for acceptance in a different. Am I making any sense?
Well, here's the thing.
I see where you're going.
I see where you're going, but I'm really confused by Toby's concern and question.
But wait, should we go back to the gum chewing then?
That's what I'm talking about. I feel like, so Toby, is that really the only thing that bothers you, and you feel like it's going to spiral, so you're kind of looking ahead? And have you ever told him, just stop doing that, it's annoying me? Have you ever just told him that?
You can't do that. She wants to be kind.
I did once. So I started to. It's just like I just do this, and so I have a history of being in a relationship. None of them have been long term, and I just let things annoy me and turn me off, and I can easily detach. So
do you think though that it's bigger? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. What did you say?
But do you like? Just wondering if you think that if the gum chewing thing is about something actually much larger, like if.
But it also could be this, because I suffer from, it's a disease. It's called mesos. No, it's a sound thing, and people chewing anything with a mouth, heavy breathing, it drives you crazy. And there's just a certain amount of the population that it's a problem. And
Gosh, I think Chris has that.
yeah, and it drives you nuts where you can't handle it anymore. And are you like that with other noises too, like mouth noises?
Are there other people in your life?
Yeah.
If
You have
they
to have a sound
open
machine
mouth,
on, that type of stuff.
Chew.
Yes.
It makes you crazy.
Yes, so I studied bison in South Dakota for my master's, and actually
You
ended
studied
up with
bison.
I did.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
cool.
You're hot, Toby. You're.
Oh my God, thank you.
You studied bison, South Dakota. You're working at a bar, an empty bar in New York in the cold. You call us up.
Crazy life.
I love it that you're like sort of like half in, half out. Man, sexy, Toby. Okay, sorry. All right, so back to
That's
you.
okay. So I ended up, I had somebody to work with, and he was just awful. Like, we were together all the time, and even in the first, we had just met. He was my age, and just the first thing he did was chew with his mouth open, and we weren't romantically involved. We were just like, I guess, friendly, and I ended up just nagging him because everything he did bothered me, and I tried to find nice ways to say, hey, please stop doing that. Like, he wouldn't blow his nose. He would just, like, snort everything back up. Did that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you suffer from that thing that I suffer from. I wish I knew the name. It's not synesthesia, but it's something in mesosthesia. I don't know. Google it. Just say people that fear mouth noises. If someone eats soup or cereal in front of me,
Oh, I know.
Wait,
it's like I want to rip my skin off.
But wait, what about Toby? How do you feel about like bodily functions in other ways, like passing gas, or like if you were to see if he forgot to flush the toilet, would that be like a game changer, or would that be okay?
I would probably laugh about that and
See,
be like,
maybe-
hey, if you could do me a favor,
Lance, you're onto
flush the
something.
toilet.
Yeah, we
You're onto
discovered.
something.
I'm telling you, you need to Google this. You need to send him exactly like the description of what you have, because 10% of the people have this.
I feel like my husband does have this.
Yeah, and my husband and I, we go through this all the time. And now he kind of laughs at it because where I wouldn't say anything and it would just kind of get under my skin. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, so what did you do? What did you do?
Well, he catches himself now. I told him, I was just flat out. I showed him, he read all about it. And I'm like, this is what I have. This is a real thing. This is what I have. And now he knows. So he'll be, eating something and he's just very, loud when he eats, and he'll catch himself. He's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And now he apologizes for it. And I love that he catches himself.
Well, and now that you have you're like, okay, sort of clinically, I can tell you that this is a particular, thing that I have. We got to get the name of this thing and send it to Toby.
Someone Google it. Yeah, Kelly Ripa has it too. Yeah.
Because Chris will be, he's never critical of anybody. But if somebody does chew with their mouth open, he has a really hard time with it. And the problem is that people who chew with their mouth open don't know they're doing it. So I'm always like, am I doing it?
But it also
Honey, am I
sounds too
doing
like, the Dyson guy, the commercials for the
Yeah.
vacuum cleaner. His voice, the way he speaks, it's
you crazy?
I want to rip my skin off because you hear every little thing in his mouth. And it was like, oh God, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
What other noises make you crazy?
That's pretty much
Toby,
it.
both you. I want to ask you both.
I mean, the only noise, I have to have a sleep machine on because, I can't hear like a whistle of the nose if someone's sleeping, not even snoring, but just you have like a little whistle in your nose.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does he chew gum all the time, though?
I don't know. I mean, he might be concerned about his breath just because we kind of started dating.
Oh yeah,
It could get
I bet
a
he
miss.
is.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though? There's a new product made by some gum company that's a gum that dissolves. You guys know about
I
this?
saw commercials for that.
No, I haven't seen that. I've seen it where you swallow like a pill, and it gets into your stomach, and then you kind of like burp.
Breath
up.
Assure. Remember that? There was something called
Yeah.
Breath Assure back in the day.
Totally. Yeah.
But maybe it's also maybe combined with a little bit of a nervous tick. Like he's nervous around you because he likes you so much.
But I'm also a chronic chewer. Like I will chew a piece of gum for 24 hours. Really? It has no flavor, but I just want to be chewing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
It's called misophonia.
So wait,
There it is.
We got
Misophonia.
misophonia. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so Toby, your job is to look this up and also tell me why you studied bison.
Right now?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so I studied bison because I'm getting my master's in biology, and I was going to do wildlife research in behavior, but turns out I hated research because I was really lonely. So I actually worked at a zoo in Boston last year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And the animals don't bother you?
No, animals don't bother me. They can chew as loud as they want.
Like a cow could be chewing cud for a long time and it wouldn't bother you.
Yeah, I was far enough away that it wasn't an annoying thing.
Well, listen, I really want to think that it's not deeper issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he sounds like a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just a sound thing like misophonia, that's something you can explain and he'll get over. But if it's something that you're finding nitpicking a lot of things that he's doing, then sometimes that's the sign of like, we're just trying to find something to end things.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would emphasize, I know that I think Lance and Sim would kind of disagree with me a little bit on this, but I would emphasize sort of being incredibly gentle. Especially, I mean...
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Like,
why would you think we would not agree with that?
Because
we're gentle people.
Well, no, but I think it's like, you know, just the idea of like, that's making me crazy. Stop doing that. Do you even know how much that's making me crazy? I feel like it's just so important in a relationship if you really like somebody.
Especially early on.
Yeah.
And the way that it's communication.
Because those are the things that you never forget.
Of course.
You know, they're embarrassing. It's like, and you don't forget them. Like even 10 years in,
That's
you're
true.
like,
No, like,
it's all about the approach.
You think I'm thinking about like my exes and like the stuff that they would like kind of bark at me, the things that they would say to me, and then like I forget about all the good times I had with them, but I'll remember those things mean things that they said to me, and like they'll play over and over in your head.
And for them, it's just like, I gotta get this off my chest.
Sure.
Exactly, because it's built up, and you're like,
right,
exactly. But with this, you know, this is easy because you can be like, oh my gosh, guess what I learned today?
Right.
I was researching this thing called misophonia. This is what I've been suffering with forever.
One time, a journalist asked me what one of my pet peeves about Chris was, and I couldn't come up with anything. So I said, "Well, you know," and it was like I feel like it was an on-air interview or something. I don't know. It was something
large
high
penis,
pressure. It was like it felt high pressure. I felt like I had to come up with something. So I said, "Oh, well, you know, he'll leave his wet towels on the ground," and which is sort of accurate, but he's so great in and he heard that piece. And he's been he is like, I mean, that sweet man now is like so conscious of any towel on there. And I feel terrible. I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't even a thing that I really registered. It was just like something that I was just trying to come up. I don't know. Anyway, point being that these things weigh heavy. And especially to good people, they so always, you know, just be gentle in any kind of approach. I think, don't you think?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Toby, so
Yes.
no one showed up in your bar? Did anyone show up, or you're still alone?
Actually, I've got 2 people here right now.
No way!
Catching on,
Wait.
catching on.
Do you
You're
want-
still
do you want
talking
to
to us.
say hi?
Yes,
Who's helping
let's say
them?
hi.
It's my 2 followers.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're in the bar, right? And she goes, "I'm talking to Anna Faris." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
What's your name?
What?
Hi.
Oh, Catherine. Angelique. Look me
Hi.
up.
Catherine and Angelique.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
You're also on with Lance Bass.
Lance
say
Bass
hi.
is here.
Well, hello.
I'm on the
there.
what? With Lance Bass. Shut the... I was at your party the other day.
Are you came? Oh, to my Bella Magazine party?
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
How are you guys doing?
What
What
a
do
radio
you?
thing?
Oh.
Podcast. What?
Yes,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
on-
we're doing
on
a
a Facebook
Look up
podcast.
gay photography.
How is New
Shout
York?
out.
What's happening? Are you
Let me
guys?
take your picture.
Are you having a fun night?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you having a fun night? I want to hear please. I would just want to live vicariously through you. I'm a mom who has to go to bed
Having a fun
soon.
night. Yeah, we're having a fun night.
Having a great time.
Who's that? There's a guy. There's a guy there
Dude
too.
with us now.
My name's Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Good. So you're out with the ladies?
I'm out with two ladies right now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bartender and a
This
friend of mine.
is why I love New York, man. Oh
awesome.
God. Listen, don't have children.
Ever.
Never.
Live there. Give Toby a great big tip and a big hug for us. She's awesome. And
don't chew around her.
And please, if you're on a commute on
So we're on a podcast?
on the subway,
Yeah.
check out my podcast,
Subscribe to us
Yeah.
on iTunes on the Faris
and you'll hear
Unqualified.
yourselves.
Tell all your friends.
Hey, put Toby back on. Let's say bye to her.
Okay, I'm here.
Hi, Tabby.
Hey, Toby. All right.
Hey.
Listen, I have a good feeling about this. I think you like him,
I do.
and
So this
I,
will be good.
yeah. So look up that thing, the mess. I want to say
Thelioma.
mesothelioma.
Yeah, I know, because that
I think it has to
commercial's
do
on
with
every 5 seconds.
asbestos.
Mesothelioma. Yeah.
Check out that gum that dissolves into mints, and also
Stay away from soups.
no udon.
No.
But thank you for calling. It's been really fun to talking to you. And please tell your friends or your new friends, or hopefully they're not, whoever they are. I adore them. Lance and I love them, and so does Sim. And anyway, thanks again.
Thanks, Toby.
Okay.
Bye, Toby.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, Toby.
Aw.
That was great.
I want to know this bar because I'm going to New York in 2 days.
Well,
my
I
God.
can wait. I'm sure, Alicia, if you want to email her and find out.
I'm going to go
what bar
surprise
it
her
is.
at her bar. And I
my
hope
God.
it's empty.
Really cool.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'm going to bring all my friends.
That'd be
I
great.
wish that you had like a little stuffed bison you could bring her.
Oh, I've had bison. You've had bison.
Yeah?
Ew,
Pretty good.
no.
What?
So, Lance.
Okay,
tell us,
so
tell
now-
us, tell us
oh,
what
yes.
you're doing right now. You're on Meredith Vieira's show.
I am. Just for a few more months, I am Meredith Vieira's co-host for her talk show, daytime talk show, which I've never done daytime for. It's been interesting on NBC. So check us out. Check your local listings. And then moving back to LA in one more month. And I'm so happy
glad.
to get back to Los Angeles. But in the meantime, I've
Do you
been
think
doing.
that Chris, sorry, I don't want to, but do you think that Chris will be annoyed if we ever snuggled together?
Why would he be annoyed? He trusts
don't
me.
know.
Oh, Chris and I have snuggled, so it only
Okay.
makes sense.
Would Michael be annoyed? Oh, he could come
You could
snuggle
appreciate
too.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
We could
all
be
right.
a throuple while Chris is
I
a
just
dog.
need to
gone.
know what the boundaries are. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So you're moving back to LA. So happy.
I am, and moving back my radio show. You know, I've been doing a radio show, Dirty Pop, with me on Sirius XM on Andy Cohen's channel, Radio Andy, channel 102. But I can kind of tell you now. I haven't told anyone, but we're moving the show finally. We're leaving Sirius XM on February 12th.
Is this a scoop? Or
This is a scoop. This is a
Oh,
scoop.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
we just figured out what we're doing with the show now. You know, at SiriusXM, it's been amazing. 5 years, awesome. But you know, you have to subscribe and pay for it. And I'd love my show just to be out there for anyone to hear. And so 5 days a week's been hard. So we want to, take the show in a different angle, and we're turning it into a television show. So.
oh my God, that's so awesome.
The studio has
Congrats,
given
that's
us
awesome.
a development deal, and we're going to turn Dirty Pop to a nighttime talk show.
Could I serve you hors d'oeuvres
You can serve me however you would like.
on your show?
Yes.
I want to give you like little hot dogs wrapped in, what do they call those things?
Little pigs in a blanket.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Yeah. Well, you can. Well, because I'm working on a cooking show too, so I need someone to help. You know,
Okay.
and you like to cook.
I do love to cook.
So we're gonna come up with some fun things.
I'm going to wear a very short skirt.
Well, I hope so. I'll wear one too. We'll have a skirt off.
Congratulations, though. That sounds exciting.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
can't
excited.
wait.
It's
I
fun.
can't
I'm just
wait.
ready to get back to LA and start this new chapter.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we've been missing you here.
Oh, I miss you.
Hey, Lance, it was just awesome having you, and obviously
thank
you
you.
deserve all your success because you're so good at what you do. You really are.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Sam.
We're just so happy to have you here.
And Lisa, thank you.
Thank you, too.
Giggles.
Of course.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
She said so much in this episode.
I know. I didn't shut up. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it is hard between. It's hard between. But I don't know, me, I guess, to get awarded. But hey, listen, to our amazing audience out there, we've been appreciating so much the incredible reviews on iTunes that wonderful people have been giving us, and it means a lot. And if anybody feels like writing more, or telling coworkers, your friends, to please follow us. That would be so appreciated. We're learning as we go, and I'm just so grateful for the fans out there, and hope that we can build more.
Mm-hmm. And can't you share this podcast? Isn't there like a little button you can just send it to your friends?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then do that. Just do that.
Push the button that says share. But hey, thank you. And if you're listening to this in the morning on your commute, have a wonderful day at work. If you're listening to this at night, have a wonderful sleep. And if you're listening to this when you're stoned, eat some more chips. And if you're listening to this when you're drunk, have some more wine. And if you're listening to this when you're in a fight with your partner, just know time will pass.
It gets better.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.